All right. We are back and we have audio. That's a good thing. How you guys doing today? JT here in the studio. It is Studio 10-4 live and it is the morning drive on a Wednesday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific time here and noon for you East Coasters. It is August the 5th. Welcome to August, man. Welcome to the dog days of summer and some other cool and exciting stuff, man. I'm it's weird right now. I'm getting jazzed up about the fall and I'm bracing for the triple digits to come in today. They did yesterday, just barely. I think we hit 100, but yeah, we got a few days of that triple digit stuff supposed to come in, and I don't know, man. I'm looking at like I'm feeling like we're going to get an early winter. I know a lot of you probably hate hearing that, but that's kind of the feeling I get, man. And I was watching Deadliest Catch last night, getting caught up, and they're getting snowed on, and man, it just like reinforced the feeling. I know that they're shooting. What I was watching was shot probably last fall, I think probably maybe December, January. But yeah, anyway. Listen, I'm going to bring Mr. Brandon Carpenter into the studio. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you, buddy?
Well, I'm not buried in the snowdrift yet, so that's good.
I'm gonna put up our ticker, man. I haven't shared that in a while.
Yeah.
Take advantage of that. You know, I don't know. What are you feeling like? I mean, you're in the midst of that hot, muggy crap back there, right? You're not even thinking winter.
Yeah, it was kind of funny because we were talking the other day. You're like, yeah, it's like, well, I forget what it was, like 38% humidity there, and I'm like, well, hang on a second. Oh wait, 86% humidity here. Yeah. So yeah, I'm in the weather where it's just constantly tropical here is the way I'll put it. But yep. I think, I don't know, for us, we had a late spring. It definitely hung around. It stuck around. Seemed like summer took forever to get going. We're finally in the midst of summer, and it's been kind of a mild summer. It started off a little hot. Now it's kind of cooling back down. It's hard to tell here. I always say that, one year here in the 1850s, they actually had the year without a summer. So they actually had frost in July and August. And the average temperature all winter long was in the 60s pretty much. So you just never know about Ohio.
Hey, right now it's 72 outside, but it's 40% relative humidity, which that's kind of it's weird how that happens. But here's what happened, man. We got the smoke coming in now. You asked about the fires. Now the smoke's come in.
Yeah, I was wondering because I see it all over the news. That's why I was like, and after what I just experienced, that apparently we are now in a wildfire area here in Ohio, that, we have the apocalyptic smoke haze that doesn't smell like smoke, smells like chemicals. But
oh, yeah.
Weird situation.
No, we've got the smoke coming in. Morning to you, Phil. Morning to everybody out there watching. And those of you that are going to be watching later on the playback, good morning or good day to you.
Morning.
Glad to have you guys on board. Right now, like I don't know. I've been feeling this all summer long. It's kind of a mild summer, and I keep bracing myself. And I have this sense of urgency. Did you watch Game of Thrones?
No.
You didn't. Okay, you won't get this, but those of you that did, winter's coming. Understand what I'm saying, and it is. I think it is. I think we're going to have an early winter. I do. It feels to me like that's what's going to happen, and I hate it because it just sort of changes everything, and I don't want that. I mean, we still got stuff to wrap up, through November that takes us being out and about and doing our thing. And I want to make sure that all happens okay. It probably is going to be fine. But I mean, listen, we're in California, Oregon, West Coast. What are you going to, it's not like we're going to, get the kind of weather you guys get back there. Not to mention you guys get the vertical or the horizontal rain because ice storms. It comes off the lake, doesn't it? Isn't that the kind of the lake effect?
Yeah, so we get the lake effect. Yeah, so and it depends on which way the wind's blowing. I'm only an hour from Lake Erie, so if it blows due south, we get major snowstorms. If the lake doesn't freeze over. Now, if the lake freezes over, we get the opposite effect that we don't really get the snowstorms, but it gets bitterly cold because you have this giant surface that's frozen over, and there's nothing to stop the wind. There's nothing to block the wind. So it just gets rip roaring across there, and we get those really cold northern winds. But me being a Midwestern guy, I base my winters off of how many truckloads of firewood I had to burn, to get through the winter. So last year was a normal winter from like when I was a kid. We had a lot of snow. It was very cold. It got cold, stayed cold all winter long. I burned 24 dump truckloads of firewood last winter. Obviously, my building being so large and having an outdoor wood burner, we burn a lot of wood. So we've already started.
What are you burning? What kind of wood do you burn out there?
A little bit of everything. We burn ash, maple, cherry. Occasionally we'll get
man.
Well, we get a lot of red oak, white oak.
That's all premium smoking wood right there, buddy.
The
fruit wood and the oak. The oak is, man.
Yeah, I always say, so, it's like about the first 3 weeks of the winter or fall, whenever you fire that wood burner up, it smells so good, and you get that real oaky wood smell, but then after about a month, it just smells like a house fire to you all the time. Just stinks.
Not around here, dude. All I want to do is eat another steak or rib, or I want something to come off the grill that I can eat and taste good. Hey, Christian's on. Morning, Christian.
Good morning.
Yeah, man, that's a lot of wood, dude. And are you cutting that on your own property, or do you have to buy that?
So some of it, we have a big woods over at my mom's place, so I go over there and we get enough dead trees every year. The woods is large enough that stuff's constantly falling, so I'm over there cutting all the time. And then what I do is I got a deal set up with the Amish, and so some of the Amish around here have band mills, and some of them have old rotary saw blade mills. And the rotary saw blade mills are not nearly as efficient as the band mills. So when they do a swipe with the log, they have to cut big pieces of it off to get it straight. So a lot of times I'll go over and I'll get slab wood off them, and that's a lot of where my firewood comes from. It's thick slab wood. It's not thin. It's really thick stuff.
We had a stumbling audio Chinese kung fu movie going on there for a second on you. I don't know what was happening. That's what you're I see. As long as your lips are in sync, we know it's working. It's 24 dump trucks. I mean, that's like 10 yards of wood, or probably 4 cords of wood in a dump truck load, man, somewhere right.
Yeah. So we got
that's
real
40 cords of wood,
we got real. Yeah. Yep. So we got real nervous last winter too, because they were starting to run out of firewood over there at the sawmill. And we had big snow. So I'm like, it's not like we're getting back in the woods to do a whole lot of cutting. So I was burning coal a little bit. I was burning a little bit of everything. And we got talking, and I was like, man, we need to get a jump start on it this year. You should see the pile of wood. I'll send you a picture of the pile of wood I have already. So I already have 10 loads stacked up. And I've got a big, Volvo loader, and I just keep running up the pile and stacking it higher. And I'm like,
wow.
I think about it. I'm like, man, I hope a spark or something don't get into this stuff, because boy, we'll have one hell of a fire.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, we got a bunch more people and folks that have been jumping in here this morning. Good morning to everybody. Phil, good morning. I don't know if I caught that when you came in, but good to have you on here, man. And John Jakes, good to have John on the show. And those are just the guys that have kind of jumped in and made a comment. So if you don't make any comments, we don't know who you are. But I know you're watching, because I see the numbers out there. Don't have Matt on yet so far. Is he coming, or is he out?
So Matt, I think, is out. He texted me, and he's got a little issue this morning.
Okay, I hope he's all right, and he'll get with us next week. We might have another surprise drop in too. We'll see. I don't think he's going to happen, but I'm not even going to say his name, but because it's just. But I have somebody in the wings that might come in, and I'm going to be talking to this guy this morning at 11:30, and finally kind of get caught up with him and figure it out. Maybe we'll get him in next week. We'll see what happens. But we were talking about something a minute ago, and take the day off there, Phil. Man, it's midweek, and you get to have a day off. That's good. I think as long as it's okay with you. Anyway, yesterday was renewal day, man. I had to renew my insurance on my rig, on my Cyclone, and been with this company for 2 years since I got the rig, and I, it was a local, and I'm just like, okay, hey Sharon, good to have you on. Trying to do the local thing, stay with some local biz and keep them, in the loop and put the money, return it back into the community. Plus, the agent was a friend of a friend, and anyway, just kind of felt like it wasn't going anywhere. And I felt like if I got somebody right here in town, I should be able to, get them on the phone. Well, I couldn't. So I just finally got to the point where I'm like, the rate kept going up, and it just felt like I kept getting more distanced from them. And so I went online. I'm back with Progressive, man. I used to be with Progressive for years when I was trucking. That's who ran my stuff when I was trucking, and they did me right, and they came in great, super good coverages, everything good. So, and when you're doing full time, it's a different animal. Not everybody does it, but there's more out there now available than there was. So I think because this has become such a huge trend, and all it takes is 6 months or more in your unit a year or during the year, and that qualifies you as full time. You have to get full timer insurance. It's a different deal. But that being said, I'm happy, and guess what? I don't have to call anybody. I can just go online. I can do everything that an agent would have done and pay less. And so I'm sorry, but I mean, if you're going to pay somebody extra, shouldn't there be some service in that? Or am I just being a dick?
Well, no, I think that's one of the big issues anymore. And it seems like insurance is one of the more industries that it just, I don't know. It's like they've gotten complacent, or it's like, hey, there's only so much competition out there. We don't have to fight for this business anymore. It just happens, and because I noticed it, I had to make a big change too last year in my commercial insurance. That it's kind of like I've told everybody, I kind of shut the trucking company down. And it's like I paid commercial insurance on the trucking company I wasn't even using for 8 months. And it got to the point where like, this is just stupid. I'm lighting all this money on fire, and I had great insurance, and it's like, and you hear all these horror stories with everybody. It's like, you don't, what if I have to go back trucking? What if I want to haul a load tomorrow? There's all these what ifs, but it got to the point where it's like, this just isn't worth it anymore. I mean, it was stupid the amount of money I was paying per month to not make anything back off of it. And I was called and I was talking with my insurance agents, and it's like, hey, I'm keeping all my rigs, I'm keeping all my trailers. It's kind of a weird situation. Most people sell out at that point. Most people don't park everything. And they didn't really want to offer anything up, as far as how they could help me. It's like, well, if you're not still doing this, then we're just not going to work with you. So I ended up going to of all things, I went to Haggerty and put basically show insurance on my equipment. What did that say? Something about the mayor?
Yeah, Robert Evans. He says, I heard he's the mayor. Not quite, but
yeah. No, definitely not the mayor. Thankfully.
No, he's in process. Here's the thing, man, for anybody out there trucking too. And this came at me in my search yesterday. And you know what? Here's the cool thing, man. I wrapped this up. I could have pulled the trigger in 2 minutes on this deal. I got everything the way I wanted it in 2 minutes on their website and done. And I could have pushed play and been out of there and done. But I called my agent, called me, and not the agent, but one person in the office, and just some team member. And I'm like, yeah, I'll call you back. Well, I finally did. I called them back and I said, hey, thanks, but no thanks. I don't need you guys anymore. Appreciate you. Bye. And I went ahead and did pull the trigger on this, but I could have done it in 2 minutes or less. It was that easy. Now,
it is that easy anymore, and thanks to the internet. And that's one thing I would encourage everybody. It's like me, I found out, it's like, hey, I was in my insurance company I had was great. It was a local company. I appreciate, 20 years of business with them. We had a good run and it was good while it lasted, but there's definitely better deals out there. And thanks to the internet, you can get these deals now within a matter of minutes, it seems like.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I always feel it's kind of like whenever you sign up though for like, let's just say satellite TV or your phone plan. They
Yep.
always want your new business, and the relationship starts off great, and then slowly over time, well, this fee comes in, this fee comes in, and I feel like you're going to fight that though, no matter what, and you'll probably have the same thing, that's like, oh, well, I started out, this was only supposed to be $90 a month, and now it's $400 a month. What's going
Yeah.
on?
Yeah.
So
yeah, all the subscription stream channels have all given an increase in their rate, including my internet provider, which is Starlink, and that has gone up $10 in a year, a little more than a year that I've been a customer. I'm not complaining because I think it's worth it, but at the same time, are you going to $10 me every year, or what's going to happen? And the same thing with all the stream channels. So luckily, those guys, all the stream channels are so embattled with each other. They're all buying each other out. It's like sharks out there. They're all eating their own. And in doing so, I would imagine there's going to be better pricing available for us on the consumer side, because there's going to be less channels to have a subscription to. I mean, and I don't know if all the deals are going through, but the big deal, I think, was the Paramount deal, man. That was going to be huge. And then HBO Max, and there was some merging going on with other services, and now Peacock's going to be offered through YouTube. So again, all this stuff going together. Well, in the insurance world yesterday, looking around trying to get my deal done, I looked at the top 6 results that came in, and I clicked on each of them. And of course, first thing this morning, I get a call. Hey, did you, how you doing? And I'm like, oh God, here we go. Okay. I hope this doesn't turn out to be my Wednesday. I got to answer the phone from all these guys that, are now getting notification that I was looking. But that being said, and this guy was like, oh, I could have beat that deal. Well, maybe, buddy, but you didn't. So I got what I wanted and needed. And I get it. The guy's trying to make a living. At the same time, when it comes down to the nuts and bolts, usually when I've done all the legwork already, I pretty much know where everything's at, and I know what everybody has. And this particular company that he repped, they didn't come anywhere close to what I was looking at that Progressive was offering. I got less money and more coverage going there than the original insured that I had before, which, like I said, they kept raising their rate every year. Why are you raising your rate? What did I do? Yeah.
Yep. Well, and that's what was happening to me, on the commercial side is, I was downsizing, and, the downturn had started, several years ago. And it's like, okay, I've got less trucks now. I've got less drivers, where there's less exposure, and then there at the end, I told him, I said, hey, I'm pretty much in the shop full time. There's almost zero exposure to your insurance company, that I may take a truck out on the road, maybe once a month, if that, that I'm paying all this money, and it just keeps every year. It was like it just kept going up and up and up. And it's like, but I'm not out there, and I'm not we're not having accidents. We're a good, clean company. We got a good CSA score. What's the deal here? And of course it's always, well, just, we're paying for everybody else is the problem, and all these big accidents, these nuclear verdicts, that's the problem, is we are paying for so much stuff. And as we know, the problem's so large and so complicated. I don't even get into it all, because we all understand that. We know where it lies.
Hey, I want to take a second and say howdy, and Brandon, say hi to Brandon. Brandon, good morning. Our buddy Brandon Chase out on the West Coast.
Morning.
Looking forward to seeing Brandon at the 10-4 Trucker Rodeo in November, Brandon. So we'll see you out there, buddy. I'm glad I got my deal done. I'm solid for the next year. Plus, it was less money than what I was paying, so that's just even better. I don't know. Anyway, much better deal. Now, if I can get all this other crap straightened out, I got to tackle Verizon next, man. I got to get them and wrangle those guys in.
I don't envy you where it comes to Verizon, because, man, that's like the mecca of it all. Like, cell phone companies are the worst, in my opinion. Like, if you want to have the worst day you've had in a while, just walk into a cell phone store and try to get anything done.
I'm not going in the store. Here's the other thing, man. I've talked to everybody that's gotten a new phone, and they've all given me the same feedback that they all lost their address books and or bunches of the information they had. I'm like, how does that happen at this day and age, man? It should be a, bam, bam, done, new phone. I've not had a problem myself with any of that, but I'm wondering what the hell's going on that's going on now. But I'm due for a new phone by their, they're saying, hey, you're ready for, I've got a great phone. I bought it 3 years ago and it still works great, man. But I've got a 22. I think we're on a 26 now or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I think I am.
Yeah. So I don't know. I got to get, like I said, I got other irons in the fire I need to get handled. Something else I wanted to bring up today too, just as well, why don't we talk about something trucking related? I've been watching the news and I'm actually on the U.S. Department of Transportation website. So something that's gone down, they had a 3-day blitz that they did, which they basically, what does that mean? They, for 3 days, they increase the profile of them out on the road and the connections out there. They're pulling trucks over. They're doing their job, but at a more aggressive rate, I guess one way to put it. And this was FMCSA, ICE, Homeland Security Investigations, all together out there doing a 3-day push of law enforcement on the road. And they, in that 3 days, detained 51 illegal immigrants, including 21 drivers with non-domiciled commercial licenses, which are invalid now, placed 766 unsafe drivers and vehicles out of service. 766. 86 arrested operators for dangerous behavior, including road rage and domestic violence. So, I mean, that right there, probably that's a good 10, 15 minutes of conversation right there. What was that like? And issued 36 violations for failing English language proficiency tests and recovered $1 million in stolen cargo. All right. So that's in 3 days. That's a 3-day push.
How many states?
Wasn't
it 11? I think I saw the article. I think it was 11 states.
Yeah, well, listen, yours was in there. So Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, and Ohio.
Oh, okay. So only a few. Yeah. Well, hey, Ohio's in there. That's at least good. So
you guys are always good for some kind of shit show. I got to tell you, man, there's always something going on in Ohio. What is the deal out there, man?
Well, we always have a lot of uniqueness here in Ohio. It seems like, it's I don't know. The other side of that too is we're obviously the mecca of the trucking world. It's all right here, all our industry.
There's a lot going on. Yeah,
there's a lot going on here in Ohio. So Ohio's always good for some good trucking industry news. But I can't believe only 36 proficiency. I still feel like it's baby steps, I guess, but they're definitely not hitting it as hard as they could be. I mean, we still see these guys,
right.
Still stop at the truck stops, and it's like, come on, there's these guys are everywhere still. But would you say it was almost 700 out of service violations for
766?
Wow.
Unsafe drivers and vehicles out of service. Hey, did your deal just?
Yeah, I accidentally kicked my camera, I think.
Oh, is that what it was? I was hoping it wasn't the
We're not having an earthquake, so.
Okay. I want to go back to the 36, failed English language proficiency. I'm guessing that the 36 violations that they issued, probably the rest of what they pulled over, they're like, okay, we'll let you skip on the non-English speaking, but we're going to get you on, these other guys are going to get, that's all they got. I don't know, but the one here, that 86 operators for dangerous behavior, including road rage and domestic violence. So are couples or teams beating on each other while they're driving down the road? which makes them therefore driving erratically, and they're pissed off at each other, so they're pissed off at everybody on the road around them. I mean, what is that about? What's that like?
Well, I can only hope it's like teams getting in fights with each other, because like that seems to be, like I don't. It's like you watch like the Bonehead Trucker, and there's all these like fights in the truck stop parking lots, and all these people go live, where their trainers kicked them out of the truck, and all this stuff. And one can only hope that's probably what that is. And maybe we'll see some good footage come out of some interesting things that happened in that time. So.
Well, I'm telling you, I mean, there's a lot to think about here, and everybody that wants to, look at this for themselves and read all the other data that came out with this story, just go to the transportation.gov and the Operation Highway Shield, they called it. White House is claiming they've put 45,000 drivers out of service entirely throughout their push across the country. I think that was the number I heard yesterday. So
yeah, but like there, I always okay. So think about it like this. That would mean that there's 45,000 trucks sitting idle, if that's the case, somewhere. And where are these trucks at? Where they're just bringing new guys in behind them, and that's the problem. There should be trucks for sale everywhere. The truck.
Yeah, but what if they're junk? What if they're just the worst POS on wheels, and these guys are they're out of service and off the road for probably a number of different reasons. The driver, first of all, but then the truck itself probably shouldn't be on the road in the first place. I'll bet a lot of them.
Well, a lot of them. Just drive down the interstate right now and look at this stuff. But even if that's true, you would think that somewhere tow yards would be full, scrap yards would be full of trucks. They wouldn't be able to be getting them through quick enough to scrap them all. My God, Freightliner Columbia should be sitting everywhere. Volvo.
Ouch. Poor Volvo always gets it, man. Always kicking the Volvo, man. It's like kicking the little dog, or something, man. Poor Volvo.
Well, hey, if the shoe fits, man, like it is what it is.
Oh my gosh!
Something about those Volvo V&Ls, man.
Yeah. Well, on another subject, and this, not that what we were talking about wasn't serious or real, but and we talk about this quite a bit. The whole digital media proposition, social media, influencer, title and whatever else, blah, blah, blah. There's all the stuff out there that are being handed to those of us that are online and utilizing this space. And there's a lot of people that aren't. Trust me, I know a lot of people. And I've got a lot of people that I'm connected to online. There's a lot of folks I know in real life. They're nowhere near this stuff. They don't go anywhere near it. And when you talk to them, they're like, why? And I get it. Trust me. I sometimes ask myself that, but there was a young lady that through the news feed I got connected to, and I just mean on digitally. I thought, well, this is an interesting person. Let's find out what she's all about. Truck driver. Got in an accident last week, and it was a truck that ran into two other trucks that were already down in an accident. She came into them and ran into them and was killed on site. Now, that being said, this is a young lady, 27 years old, I think, 28, something like that. It seemed like, from what you're watching in her world on the news feed as it comes by, it seems like she had some real positive things that were starting to happen for her. And I was very happy for her that was the case, because what I was seeing before was questionable and maybe could have taken a different turn, and it certainly did, an unfortunate one, but it looked like things were turning in a good way. Well, unfortunately, too, the first thing in my mind, because I have followed this person, is what was she doing that Sharon agreed. What was she doing that happened to put her in that position? Was she, holding her device and shooting content, distracted, anything? And I have to say, that is probably a possibility. So I have seen myself, I'm guilty into, listen, trust me, I'm guilty of it as well. But your eyes off the road and on that screen just for a second and listen, anything could happen. And in her case, it did. And like I said, she was the third truck in a 3-truck pileup that was already fully engaged with first responders and traffic pulled over and the whole 9 yards. And she came up on this scene and ran into the second truck. So very unfortunate, but my takeaway from this is, and not knowing what her situation was in the truck, is that we all need to be that much more careful out there. And I know that the ears that this is falling on are probably not the ones we really need to be that concerned with, but at the same time, we all are not going to be hurt by hearing it, and certainly try to do a better job of it, of maybe policing ourselves and others too, man. Like, and I swear to you, I'm on the road and I see guys on the phone, distracted, weaving into my lane. It happens all the time. When I get by them, man, I give them the hang up the phone, hand sign as I drive by, because they're in my lane. They need to be in their lane, and they need to be focused on driving, man, not doing what the stupid shit they're doing out there on the road is. And there's nothing that's going on in that phone that's more important than what's going on in front of you while your hands are on the wheel and you're doing what you're doing. So be safe out there, everybody. I don't know, Brandon, do you know any, did you see this accident?
Yeah, I didn't know her. I don't
You
think
did? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think our paths ever crossed. I knew of
in
her.
real life, you mean? Yeah.
I don't know that I ever met her. I mean, maybe I did. I meet so many people, but it's really unfortunate what had happened. I'd seen the situation, kind of as it unfolded. I always hate to speculate, on what did happen. I'm not there, so it's not really my place to speculate. But you do naturally, wonder. It's like, it's just like me being a first responder, as I was for 14 years. I look at some of these accidents, in my time spent alongside the highway responding to these accidents. I always wonder, it's like, how do people get in these situations? We actually just had a gentleman killed here in our county a few years ago, responding to a semi accident, and another semi came along and plowed into him, and he just couldn't get out of the way quick enough. And, you really, being in that business, you analyze, these accidents a lot and ask yourself, how do we end up here? How do we get in these situations? And unfortunately, in this one, it definitely seems like, something was going on, who knows? But I mean, to reiterate what you're saying, absolutely, I'm guilty of it. We're all guilty of it. We all want to share our lives, share our, what we're doing in these trucks with the public, especially with me now. I don't drive truck every day. When I get out there, I get giddy about it still. It's like that beautiful evening, sunset, riding off, into the west, sunset. It's something, I always feel like, man, I want to film this, or whatever. And you do get busy on your phone, and you shouldn't be. I mean, the reality of it is it's you and the road. You really need to be paying attention to it. And anything at any moment can happen. Steer tire can blow. You got your phone in your hands, I mean, we've seen it happen time and time again, where unfortunately these things do happen. And, it's hard to say what happened in this situation, but hopefully, that wasn't the case. And,
it was interesting. I saw a picture and some content that came across the screen. Oh, hey, Sharon, my pleasure. I hope Gary's doing well, and love having Gary a part of what we do, and being a part of 10-4, of course. Big part of 10-4 magazine, and
is that Gary's mom?
Yeah. Yep.
Jones. Hey, well, good to see you. I'm glad she popped in.
Oh yeah, she drops in. She's great. We love Sharon. The video or picture, whatever it was, of this accident came down my news feed, and I'm like, oh, that's a bummer, and didn't think anything of it until somebody from her world posted it, and then more of those started coming out, and it's like, oh, that was that person. And
Yeah.
that was her. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's awful.
It's
And
really tragic too, because she was an upcoming person in this industry, and it was another. We only have so many up and coming females, I'll say, in this industry, and it's nice to see somebody who was, doing something, and they were doing positive things, as far as some of her content, some of the things she was doing, and kind of getting it out there, and showing that side of the industry and what a female goes through, and unfortunately, it's a sad thing, a life taken too soon. And
yeah, well, and listen, like I said, it wasn't until just recently it looked like she was taking a very positive turn, and
yeah,
I was very happy to see that, because she's a young gal, and I really thought, she needs to have something better going on in her world, and sure enough, and she met a guy, and they were engaged, and it looked like it was going to go well there. Frank, what's going on, buddy? All that being said, just like I said, just be careful out there, guys. All it takes is a couple of seconds of your eyes off the, what you're doing, and if you want to shoot the content, get set up for it, man. I mean, put a rig together inside your cab, so all you have to do is, push play, capture the video you want to capture, and that's it, and then post later.
I watched a video last night. A guy in a K100, an older gentleman. He did it right, in my opinion. He's like, hey, I'm going down the street. I'm going to go ahead and get some fuel to get fueled up for tomorrow. It was a Sunday afternoon. He's like, you guys want to go along for the ride? And he had everything set up in the bunk, so it's like, stay up free. He got the camera rolling before he even took off, and then he just rode, and it was kind of a cool video just to watch him drive. And it kind of brought me back to some of my memories of my days of driving a K100, just kind of a cool thing. But, he wasn't involved in the video really at all, other than doing what he normally does. And that was kind of a cool aspect of it. So,
you mentioned something I want to talk about too, that the front steer tire. So I don't know, everybody's had it happen. I know I have, but rears and steers, I've had them both go, not at the same time, but I've experienced both. And it seems like there's been a rash of steers that guys are losing, and thankfully nobody's had that I know of yet has had anything catastrophic, meaning injury or death happen. But the truck, you got a steer tire that goes, then you're gonna bad things are happening to the front end of your truck. It's just the way around it, but it just seems like there's been a rash of them, and when I was watching Deadliest Catch last night, the whole fleet was experiencing electrical issues, generators blowing up. It's like, what the hell's going on here, man? And I don't know if you watched the gold miner guys. I watched their last episode of the season, but two of the guys on that lost their water pumps. And
yeah,
it's like.
So interestingly enough, there's two things with that. One, those are the only two TV shows that I watch. So
no kidding.
Yeah, it's all. I don't watch anything else the rest of the year. I don't watch sports. I'm too busy. Yep. I normally make time to watch Deadliest Catch, and then obviously Gold Rush is easy because that comes on in the fall, and then it works its way through winter. So it's like evenings in the winter. Sometimes it works out great, but those are the only two shows that I watch all year. Yeah. And one interesting thing about it is, so the pumps are actually made by a company called Gorman Rupp. And Gorman Rupp is actually one town over from us. So Tony Beats, all of them have came here and been to the factory and toured it all, and all the pumps get shipped out there, a lot of them. Not all the pumps they use on the show, but 90% of them on Gold Rush are probably Gorman Rupp pumps.
Well,
so cool they come out of this area.
Kevin, Tony's kid who went out on his own to do his own thing, he lost one. And then Rick, who was Parker's buddy, still is, but went out on his own. He lost one, and for either one of these guys, they're at the bottom of the the feeding chart there up in the Yukon in this show. I mean, those are the two kind of lowest on the ladder guys, but they did all right. They still ended up okay. They came out of it and recovered, but. And I mean, spoiler alert, anybody watching the show, including you, if you don't want to know who the winner of this, season is, But King of the Klondike, man, it's still Tony Beats with $45 million in gold. He found over 11,000 ounces of gold.
And something I want to point to too is he did it with mostly older equipment.
Oh gosh, dude. His number one
for them old rigs, man.
His number one producer was the
Trommel.
The Trommel, yeah.
The old Trommel. And that thing, it's been on, it's been around for, pretty much ever since they started the show,
that thing's probably 50 years older than that even, right? I mean, that thing's, who knows how
I think we're on season 18, 19, 20, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
So, and Deadliest Catch has been around even longer, I think we're on season 20.
Deadliest Catch, we're season, I think we're season 20.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Jake Anderson on the Cornelia Marie now, steering the Cornelia Marie. I mean, that cool that ship is back, but I never saw Jake being captain on there coming, but he is, so good for him. And I love that ship. It has a great story. Phil Harris to me was, one of those guys, man.
Speaking of that, I follow one of the guys that's he's been on the show forever, and of course, right now his name's slipping my mind. I don't know why, but he's been on the show forever. He's been a deckhand. He's an older guy, and he's on the Northwestern right now. He's been on the Northwestern, I want to say, for 2 or 3 seasons now. He actually just posted on his Facebook. He actually doesn't have that big of a social media following, surprisingly, but just posted on his Facebook a couple of days ago that they're down. They always do the cod fishing, and supposedly right now in Washington, there's been he said they're normally the tender for the codfish.
Yeah.
And no boats have brought any cod in for like 5 days. And he's like, that's unheard of. It's the worst fishing in 20 some years they've ever had.
Wow.
And he's like, it's really, there's a lot of fishermen in the Northwest right now that are really struggling because there's no fish. There's just.
I wonder if it's too warm.
Yeah, maybe.
I wonder if it is. I wonder if it's too warm, maybe, or not warm. I don't know, man. I mean, it's been a weird summer. Let's face it. Here, the I mean, right now it's 9:45 in the morning and it's 75 degrees. So we're supposed to hit 105 today, but we're not even close to that yet. Sharon says she used to watch Phil. The characters throughout the years of Deadliest Catch, and Phil Harris, man, that guy, and I'm so happy they're carrying his legacy forward with the Cornelia Marie, and they still have him in the wheelhouse, and a big part of the show, and they're showing clips all through the episode of him, and and Jake and him were buddies. Remember when Hillstrands threw Jake to the Harris boat, to the Harris boys, and said, "Here, go learn how to fish," I'm sorry, not it was when Jake was with Northwestern and they threw him over there. Yeah, they threw him over there. Yeah. Sorry.
Well, it's always so. The guy's name was Matt Bradley. So Matt Bradley's been on the show since day one, and that's the guy I follow. But what always is great about that show to me is so obviously Phil passed away, and what's interesting is Phil actually passed away right around the same time that my dad passed away. And if you remember, Jake's father actually passed away around that time too. So there was a lot of people losing people around that time. And it was always cool because me and my father, it was like that reality TV era where like Deadliest Catch, Gold Rush, all these things were coming into play. And I can remember me and my dad sat around and watched that show a lot, and I look back now and it's like, man, they're talking about how long Phil Harris has been gone. It's like, it kind of just brings back those memories too. It's like, man, my dad's been gone that long too. We used to sit and watch the show together. It's kind of crazy that all these years later it's still going, but yeah, it's been neat to watch those people over the years, and watch their progress.
Well, it was season 10, I think, when Phil passed away.
Yeah.
On Deadliest Catch.
Right. Yeah. Around 2013, 2012, somewhere in there.
Something like that. Yeah. I can't, but season 10, that's all I think I can remember on that one. But anyway, the whole Gold Rush thing, Parker Schnabel came in at 42 or 43 million. So he came in right under Tony, which he was very bummed about because he wanted to kick Tony's ass. Those two are, right at each other's.
Well, they also have to make it for TV too. I mean, that's the other thing. The reality TV side, I watch some of it. And it's like, okay, like I laugh some of the mechanical stuff they'll have happen on some of the boats or some of the Gold Rush equipment. It's like, gee, that seems awfully convenient. That the lights just quit and this happened. And it's like, and then again, they over dramatize some of it, but that's part of the show. I mean,
you got to have some drama. Well, and on the early parts of that show, the early seasons on that show, the drama really was drama, where you got, guys beating each other up and fights and all kinds of crap happening.
That's why I say, like, if we just had the right crew, filmed the right guys in the trucking industry, you'd have it. I mean, it just comes, the drama comes all on its own. I mean, follow me around for a week. My God, my life could definitely be a show for sure.
You know what? It could happen. It could happen.
I don't want my life out there like that. It's already out in public enough.
look at all Mid America banned from Mid America. I mean, come on.
Yeah, man. Get kicked out of Mid America. Just too many wild parties apparently in the parking lot. Too much riffraff.
Not like you had a stripper pole in that trailer or anything, because you don't. But I mean, what's this? Watch the Trucking War Bid Show. I don't know that one, Sharon. Do you know that one, Brandon?
What is it?
Trucking War Bid Show. What is that, Sharon? I don't know what that one.
No, I don't know what that one is. I know Gary. So Gary, for a while, since it's sharing comment, he had a film crew. Well, I think we were just talking about that not all that long ago.
That was a while back, man.
Yeah, that was a while back, but there was a film crew, and they were kind of talking about doing stuff. I just don't think it ever came to. And Gary would have been perfect for it, I mean,
no, it did. It did. That was that show that I found, and it was Big Rig or something like that, and he was hauling the boat.
Yep. The boat. Yep.
Where they bid to get loads. Yeah. Well, that's that. We'll have to find that. There's a show on that.
So there was Shipping Wars, and my buddy Chris Kikohan was on that Shipping Wars Sundance. And I think he did 4 seasons on that show. And that show was pretty popular, but it's kind of since died out, and it was over dramatized. It was definitely a lot of crazy just drama.
Well, man, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of businesses that post COVID are still, leaving us, and stuff that's been around forever it's changing. We're in a shift in our world of how things are. And,
well, look at politics. I mean, last night, I don't know if you've seen what happened in the primaries in Michigan last night.
No, what did happen?
So, Socialist Democrats, they all won their primaries. I mean, Socialist Democrats, not even the far left Democrats won their primaries. Now, it's a good thing to a certain extent for the Republican Party of Michigan because, hopefully, but here's what kind of cracks me up. Everybody's going, well, now I've got an opponent that's easy to take out because, these people are so crazy. Nobody's going to listen to them. Well, clearly somebody listened to them. That's how they won the primaries, and I would caution, all these political figures. And that's part of what's going on here in Ohio is it's changing, and it's changing rapidly. I mean, that's how I got elected, is people got to realize that these politicians, our political climate is changing very quickly. And if they don't start figuring that out, we're going to have a lot more bad things happen here and a lot more bad people get elected.
I'm going to see if I saved her name here. Let me look real quick. And it really is clearly spelled out on this particular. I don't have her on here, but I watched Joe Rogan. It was a Rogan episode from 2 years ago of this North Korean woman who is now American, by the way. She came to America and apparently got her citizenship. She's American now, but she's an activist for a lot of different things. And I didn't get the full story, so I was really kind of like, okay, what is she really supporting? I don't know that much yet, but I do know this. She escaped from North Korea. Okay. Listen closely, folks. If you're even thinking of this socialist proposition. This woman escaped a socialist or communist government in North Korea. You need to go back and watch this episode with her telling her story on Joe Rogan. If you think you know what these people are headed towards, I don't even think they know what they're headed towards, some of them. It's a, pie in the sky idea that's not real, number one, because the reality is very, very drastic and very severe and completely different from what you are experiencing in the American lifestyle right now. Hear what it's like from her to live under a regime that owns you. You own nothing. She told the story of a neighbor who was killed because he harvested his cow. Well, it's not his cow. It's the state cow.
Yeah.
And because he killed state property, they killed him.
Yeah. Well, it's no different than I was telling you about that guy here in our town, that we're having issues with right now. That's basically walking around and dressing inappropriately and walking past schools and everything, and amazingly, half the town is defending this guy, that he should be allowed to do those things, and what we're seeing is the next generation of people, they've been so repressed. And the problem is the longer time goes on and you keep saying the government's corrupt, the system's working against you, there's no money, you're barely making it, and everything else. And each generation never sees the light of day and nothing positive happens. It doesn't matter how good of a candidate you are. It doesn't matter how good you are. As long as you're a change candidate, whether you bring something good to the table or not, as long as you're a change candidate, these people are going to vote for you and they're going to defend these crazy things because it's a change from the norm, because they're so sick of the norm. They want something else, whether it's worse for them. And that's what's so crazy is, they don't even understand how bad some of the stuff's going to be for them. And they'll support it just because it's something different than the norm. And that's what's going to get us in a lot of trouble.
I mean, seriously, go back and anybody watch the Rogan episode. It's 2 years old. It's on YouTube. Anybody can watch it. It's free. With this North Korean lady. She's a young lady. I think she's probably 30 something years old now, but I wish I'll try to get her name again and share it with y'all. But anybody see The Matrix? The movie? Okay. We become the batteries for the machine. So, all right, it's science fiction, but wait a minute. That's, at that point you are so far removed. And now in that movie, and I'll tell you what a crazy perception of what reality could be if that was really what was going on. And I'm saying, with everything headed the direction it is, man, we better, make sure it doesn't. But, and the guys who, created that movie, those guys are a couple of interesting cats. I don't, the Wachowskis, you know who they are, Brandon?
I don't remember. I did watch the movie, but it's been
You didn't watch it? Okay. Well, the Wachowskis, both of them are, I think they both had sex changes. They were both men. Now they're both women. So it's, weirdness out of the reality and the weird anyway, but not that there's anything wrong with it, I guess, but yeah, I don't know.
The world, again, define normal. I always say that when somebody's like, oh, they're strange. Well, I'm strange. Like every one of us has our own tendencies that are different than the next. That's what makes us great. A lot of times I wake up every day and I'm like, man, I'm one weird person. When you really break down my life and all the craziness, I'm into these old semis, but yet all these politics now and like just what a weird existence, that to go through this life, and that's how I'm gonna live this life. But I'm fine. And that's the thing though. I love America. I love what I get to do. I love my country, and I want it to stay what it is,
Yes.
I like beer cold. I like, I like barbecue. I like everything about America, but we're having all these outside influences come in. And yes, I think we have all these problems. We have all these things. We were talking. We actually had a couple come here that they were from China and they lived under the communist regime, and they were talking about how they buy our elections and how the communist regime puts all this money through backdoor channels into different elections and that type of thing, and they had lived under a communist regime, and it's like nothing about this country will be the same if we head to that socialist communist style lifestyle.
Yeah.
Why would we want to do that? I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
Well, I'm going to say one more thing on it, and that's that anybody that thinks that this is going to be a good thing, just take everything that you have that you enjoy in your life. If it's your home and you're proud that you worked to have one, if it's the meal on your table and the food you eat, the health care that you have of any kind, of any sort, doesn't matter what it is, everything you own, the clothes on your back, just everything you have that you cling to and consider yours, it'll all be gone. And I don't mean removed necessarily. I mean, it won't be yours any longer. It will be like the guy's story I told you about, butchering his own cow.
Well, that and all the things that these people that support this stuff love, and the freedom that they're looking for, and the freedom to express themselves. And it's like this guy walking down the street, I was telling you about, the stuff that they support and they want to do. Do you think that's really going to happen? You couldn't go to China and do that. You couldn't go to Iran and do that. You can only do it here because we allow it,
Yeah.
And that's where everything that you're fighting for, you're on the wrong side of this. You don't realize all that's going to be taken away from you with 100% without a doubt.
I mean, what do you think's going on over in Iran? Those people aren't the people of Iran, the Persian people, the people that are of the old country, Persian, are not happy about what's going on over there. And if they speak up about it, they don't speak up about it for very long. Anybody remember Tiananmen Square? I mean, believe me, our country, we got issues, but we got the best country in the world, folks. So just stand up for that. And let's work out all the other details. But this other stuff that you guys think is going to be a solution, oh, no.
No, you won't be able to be weird anymore. That's they'll only accept you if you're weird in the same weirdness that everybody else is. It's whatever the mass is. That's the only way you'll be accepted. You can't be like me. Someday they might be like, hey, if we go this route, you're not allowed to have old trucks anymore. And
you ain't burning 40 cords of wood in the winter, buddy. That's
right. Exactly.
That's the state's wood. You just sit there and freeze your ass off and leave the state's wood alone.
Yep, exactly.
Hey, we're coming up on top of the hour. Jeff Patello, good. Jeff, tune in this afternoon, buddy. We'll be on the show. In fact, I need to get Jeff back in. You can be one of my weekly feature builder guys that I'm bringing on to the weekly update. I'm going to do that every week. We're going to get just some quick tips and experiences that you guys, whoever you are that we're talking to that week, are going through. And that's going to be starting up. Actually, Nick will be next week, and I don't have anybody today, Jeff. So if you want to drop in, more than happy to have you, man. That would be cool. So Jeff, let me know if you got time this afternoon at 5:00. Just a few minutes of what you're building, what we're looking at down there at Patello Custom Trucks. Okay. Brandon, thanks, buddy. Sharon, everybody else in the audience and those on the playback watching, when you watch, wherever you watch from, appreciate you guys. Hey, and if you get an invitation from us to come into the show, please acknowledge it. It really messes with me on my end. When I go to invite you next week, I don't get as many invites. It's just stupid, but that's the way it is. So if I don't get some kind of acknowledgement, it cuts my from one number back down to like nothing. So just even if it's like, hey, ain't going to be there, great. Just let us know. But
and I want to, since you brought it up, I want to leave everybody this week with some truck builder advice. Never, ever use well nuts on your truck. Always use inserts. That's my advice for the week.
Repeat that again. Tell us again.
Never use well nuts. Never use rubberized well nuts on your truck. Always use inserts.
Okay.
Threaded inserts. That's the way to go.
All right. More to come on that. I want to know more about that because I
Yeah.
used to use. I bought one of those. It's called a Nutzert, I think.
Yep.
Those are okay, right?
Yep, those are fine. That's what you want to use. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I. Yeah,
People that drill the big hole and stick the rubberized nut in there, and then it jams against it, and then it rots out in a year. You know, you've got water. Don't do that.
No, the Nutzert's the way to go. Hang on after the show, and we'll clear a couple things real quick. But we'll see everybody this afternoon, 5 o'clock. I've got Mr. In fact, we're going to be talking about his show, Wade. Oh God, brain damage. Wade Riffey, sorry everybody, is going to be on talking about the upcoming show this weekend. Used to be Waupun. Now it's their show that they're going to be doing, and I want to get that out there real quick. Make sure that I don't miss the opportunity here for them. But I'm looking on our 10-4 Badger State Truck and Show, and that's going to be at the Badger Steam and Gas Grounds in Baraboo, Wisconsin. Is that? I hope I said it right. But we'll have Wade on to talk about that and this show and what the heck's going on. So tune in there, and maybe we'll get our buddy Mr. Jeff Patello in there. Sharon just got off the phone with Junior, and he said, "Howdy, all right, man." Yeah, Sharon, we got morning. We got us in the morning, and we usually have a third guy, Matt, who's our memory guy. But Matt was held over on something else today, so we'll get him back next week. But thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll catch you this afternoon and next week on the Morning Drive.